This is Kimberly Quinn, host of the Mindcraft podcast, and I can't tell you how much fun I have had doing this podcast. I started when the world closed over the pandemic in an attempt to spread some positivity out there and give people some strategies to enhance their own well being and reduce anxiety and all of that. Now, 2 years later, we're still going strong and now listened to by 52 countries across the world. And I've even helped some of my students get going with their own podcasts. It's super easy to do. And I'll tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. I'll just explain for you. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It is a ball. Start today. Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft conversation today. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm thrilled to be with you on this beautiful morning in northern Vermont. The birds are chirping. You may be able to even hear them because the deck door is wide open and we have no screen. And not that matters with birds, I guess. Just felt like adding that in because we do need to get one. Anyway, the birds are singing away in a bird symphony. Today, I'd like to discuss the Tao of Success. The Tao of Success. And my inspiration for today is coming from Sarah Von Brednick, and she is author of the book Simple Abundance, which is a day book of comfort and joy. She is amazing, and a lot of us are focused on, along this path of authenticity of how to constantly live a higher vibe life, be our highest vibe self. And hopefully today will offer some tips for that. And of course, success can be defined in so many ways. We obviously think of material wealth, which involves cash, investments, square footage of a house, cars, jet skis, who knows, all the material stuff. Success is having a family. You've got a couple of kids, and then the kids go in their trophies, and that makes everybody feel good. And there's just, we can go on and on with success. So for me, of course, success, as you know, means feeling as completely comfortable in your own skin as is possible. It means you can set boundaries, not hesitate to set boundaries, feel good about setting boundaries, never mind, um, you know, guilt over them. No guilt, happy to do so respectfully and honestly. Boundaries are up, and to really feel that authentic confidence, knowing that you have the world by the ass. All right, so yes, being your best, highest vibe, authentic self, in my opinion, is the largest form of success, or the clearest, most transparent form of success. Though remember, they're not mutually exclusive because I just did a thing on do what you love and the money will follow. And when we are living authentically, the rest of it kind of falls into place anyway. So anyway, uh, Sarah starts out with a quote from Calvin Coolidge, and he says, nothing in the world can take place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more commonplace than unsuccessful men with talent. Isn't that the truth? Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education alone will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Calvin Coolidge. And it seems that Calvin and also Sarah here are talking about good old fashioned grit, no to the grindstone, making it happen, not giving up, stick to itness is what we're talking about. And then Sarah, she says, this is the Tao of success, the way. And like every other truth, it's at once very simple and very difficult. And we've talked about that with a variety of things in our Minecraft conversations that, and when with my students, I actually put my hands up. Is it this simple? Like when we're talking about the strategies to reduce anxiety, and they're looking at me, kind of just excited, and then They're like, "Oh, but how can I do this? Is it this simple?" Yes, it is that simple. It is absolutely that. There's a clear, way through. Yet, is it that easy? No. And depending on your wiring, that's going to be on a spectrum, like most things in life. And I like how she says, as far as the Tao of Success and the path to living one's highest vibration of self, is it this simple? Yes. Is it very difficult? Yes, it can be. And Sarah continues, not the understanding as much as the doing, because the Tao of Success is patience and persistence. So I'm just kind of I'm chuckling with myself at this minute because the good Lord has tossed lots of gifts into my gift bag for sure. Patience is not one of those. And I'm just a constant work in progress with this. And especially with my ADHD, I prefer to say Fast Mind Club membership. I want everything yesterday. I'm aware of it, so I'm just constantly working at it. But anyway, it made me chuckle. So because the Tao of Success is patience and persistence, and then she says patience is the art of waiting. Yes, I don't like waiting. Patience is the art of waiting. Like all high arts, it takes time to master, which shouldn't be surprising, since patience is the knowledge of time, how to use time to your advantage, how to be at the right place at the right time, how to pick your moments, how to bite your tongue. Patience is discovering the mysterious pattern of cycles that cradle the universe and ensure that everything that has happened once will recur. Love that. And yes, though it's true that I don't like waiting in line, and I just don't like waiting in general. I have to tell you that I have really improved with this. And I've also mentioned to you because I even with my students, I don't ask them to do anything I don't already actively practice in my own life. So I've mentioned to you that on the way into my Jeep, or if I'm not going in, then it's just in the morning in the living room. I set an intention every single day, and it may be to be worry free, to just be in the moment, to be grateful. One of my common ones, because obviously you use some over and over. One of my very frequent ones is to trust in the process. Now, for me, that's a capital P. It can be the universe, higher power. For me, it's God, but to trust in source with a capital S. And this has helped my patients tremendously. I'm getting there. I'm getting there because I put it out there that whatever happens is meant to happen for a reason. Just just show me the way and give me the strength kind of thing. Okay, so after patience, we're talking about perseverance, and I love that word. And I know in class when we're talking doing the unit on resilience, and they come up with their own resilience word. This is words, a whole list of words about themselves. Perseverance is usually in the top three. I mean, it's just a great bounce back word, and which I'm very fond of. So patience and perseverance. Okay, perseverance in life is being steadfast. Persistence is being stubborn. Persistence is grittier than perseverance. Wow. When I was reading this earlier, I was thinking thinking I guess thinking the exact same thing, or thinking that I how in agreement I am. Perseverance seems like a next level up from persistence. Persistence, I just picture, you know, uh, digging ditches for a good cause or something, just and not giving up till it's dug, or laying brick, or it just seems. I picture labor when I picture persistence, and also the emotional equivalent of labor. We all labor mentally or cognitively when we're trying to accomplish something. And perseverance seems like another level up. To me, perseverance seems like it's the persistence, the grit, which good old fashioned grit, getting our hands dirty, being in the trenches, laying the brick. And then the perseverance adds like a spiritual component to it, I think. Like that elevated, seeking out the higher ground kind of thing, the higher vibe stuff. So then Sarah says persistence. Oh, look at that. I jumped the gun right there because we're on the same page. Okay, persistence is knocking on heaven's door so often and so loudly on behalf of your dreams that eventually you'll be given what you want, just to shut you up. I love that. I read this earlier, and just now, as you can tell, and I leave it there because I don't edit myself too much. Why? Because we call that human. This is how it happened. I was thinking the same thing. It has it's persistence amped up to seeking out your calling, or the again, the highest vibe the highest vibe version of yourself. And it's true because uh also, slow and steady wins the race, as they say. I think of the tortoise and the hare. And just, keep it up. Just keep one foot in front of the other. And then she says, for example, think of an 11-year-old who wants to get her ears pierced sooner than her 16th birthday, the age her old-fashioned mother thinks is appropriate. The first request, even if it comes in a burst of emotion, doesn't succeed, nor does the second, the third, or even the fourth. But the child who goes at you morning, afternoon, and night, week after week, month after month, this child's voice is water to the rock of your reason. This stubborn but patient child wears you down, which is why you end up at the mall on her 12th birthday, shaking your head as you pay to adorn her earlobes with tiny gold balls. Oh, that made me crack up when I read that, and it's true. And of course, at the same point, from a psychological standpoint, I would also say we don't want to reward, I guess I didn't say whiny in there, but sometimes don't want to reward certain behavior. And then the other side of it, I can see that I really get the example with this because if she's as long as the 11-year-old is really pushing, 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 but with respect, um, eventually I can get why you listen to her and be like, wow, am I really hanging on to my old fashioned values? And that was decades ago, and this is different now. And then she quote unquote wins because she kind of breaks through that pseudo wall of hanging on to something that was written on some invisible slab somewhere that doesn't make sense anymore. And so the example with the 11-year-old and the ear piercing, sooner than mom planned for it, is definitely an example of persistence. It's just kind of sticking pins in you respectfully until you kind of cave. And also the more um the grittier type of thing we were talking about versus perseverance. And of course the little girl was also patient to a degree while her mom kind of worked through her own traditional super glue there. And Sarah says the potent alchemy of patience and persistence, which together become endurance, another word I love, must have been what the Lebanese poet Oda al Namai was meditating on when she wrote, I have not withdrawn into despair. I did not go mad in gathering honey. I did not go mad. I did not go mad. I did not go mad. I love that. And of course, this has me thinking of my dear friend Oprah when she talks about listening to the whispers until they turn into bricks. So, again, the stereotypical example of that is having all kinds of signs of, just ignoring your life, your mind, your body, and your stress level, and your physical health, emotional, all that, and then whisper, 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 one after the other, one after the other. Eventually, someone has a heart attack to wake them up, as long as they survive it. Right? That's a stereotypical example, but it doesn't have to be just definitely does not have to be negative. We can listen to these whispers, following our heart, our and um, our intuitive inner voice. Those are whispers too, pulling us toward our calling. It doesn't have to be away from something. Hopefully, it isn't. It's more of a toward an attraction too. When we listen to these whispers, that's the authentic whispers are pulling us toward the highest version of ourselves, where we can be happier and happier and happier and experience a joy that can't even be put into words. And then Sarah winds up with, she says, if you are determined to gather life's honey, to stick your hand into the hive again and again and again, to be stung so many times that you become numb to the pain, to persevere and persist till those who know and love you become unable to think of you as a fairly normal, quote or brackets, person, you will not be called mad. You will be called authentic. And there you have it, Minecraft listeners. You will be called authentic. This is the Tao of Success. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful and sunny northern Vermont today. Have a mindful, authentic day.